The galaxy had long been a tapestry of order, a vast machine of empires, fleets, and civilizations meticulously aligned. Every star system had a place, every planet a ruler, and every species a role dictated by millennia of hierarchy. Yet in the midst of this well-oiled galaxy, a small human vessel drifted with quiet audacity. Its engines whispered through the void, barely disturbing the cosmic silence, yet its presence radiated defiance. Humans were not expected to survive beyond a single sector of known space, let alone draw the attention of the Empire. Yet here they were, fragile against the massive fleets that loomed like mountains of steel and light, their hulls bristling with weaponry designed to bend galaxies to obedience. The humans did not flinch. They observed. They calculated. And somewhere between calculation and instinct, they laughed. The first transmission from the Empire arrived in waves of cold authority, demanding compliance, submission, recognition of power. Humans read the message, and for a moment, silence filled the bridge. Then a low chuckle rippled through the crew, a sound not of arrogance, but of disbelief at the galaxy's assumptions. These beings expected fear, they received audacity. Sensors traced the Imperial fleet, revealing formations designed to crush, weapons arrays calibrated for annihilation, and fleets that had never encountered defiance. Yet the humans saw patterns. Angles, and weaknesses invisible to the algorithms of the Empire. Every observation, every note, every calculation was infused with intuition, humor, and the stubborn brilliance of a species that had survived everything the universe had thrown at it. The captain leaned over the console, studying the fleet as if it were a puzzle rather than a threat. His hand hovered over the controls, not in panic, but in anticipation. They were small, fragile, and underestimated, but their minds were quick, adaptive, and fearless. The crew moved with synchronized precision, each gesture a testament to instinct honed through hardship and triumph. Outside, the fleets aligned, shadows of incomprehensible size casting darkness across the void. The human sensors flared, mapping energy flows, calculating trajectories, noting every vulnerability. And then the first probe approached, sleek and silent, designed to read their intentions, to predict their actions, to crush resistance before it could bloom. The humans watched it come, not with fear, but with curiosity. Their fingers danced over consoles, redirecting signals, feeding back illusions, creating anomalies that made the probe hesitate. It faltered, uncertain, unable to comprehend the unpredictability of human thought. The first spark of doubt had entered the Empire's calculations. The galaxy, long accustomed to order, had never seen a species laugh at its inevitability. And in that laughter, in that quiet defiance, humanity began to carve its place among the stars, not with power, but with audacity, intellect, and the courage to exist unbowed. The fleets shifted, a ripple of coordinated motion meant to intimidate, yet it only revealed gaps the humans could exploit. The horizon drifted forward, small and unassuming against colossal dreadnoughts, yet every sensor aboard recorded, analyzed, and predicted the enemy's moves with precision. The crew whispered observations, noting angles of approach, weapon arcs, energy signatures, and structural anomalies that no algorithm of the Empire had ever accounted for. The Empire had never faced a species that did not respond with fear. Telepaths strained to probe the human minds, only to be met with layers of unpredictability, humor, curiosity, instinct, and a defiance that refused to conform to expectation. AI arrays attempted to model behavior, yet human decision-making was fluid, adaptive, and immeasurably clever. Every attempt to anticipate, to control, only deepened the chaos. Then came the first salvo, not directly at the humans, but at a nearby asteroid cluster meant to display overwhelming force. Humans observed, calculated the blast pattern, and subtly shifted the ship's shields and trajectory. The pulse passed, grazing the hull harmlessly, and a ripple of quiet laughter ran across the bridge. They had survived worse storms on Earth. Worse collapses of civilization, worse threats from within and beyond. And now, they survived the Empire's demonstration. The horizon edged closer, threading between colossal warships with nimble grace. Drones launched, not as weapons, but as extensions of human ingenuity, mirrors, decoys, probes feeding back false readings that misled targeting systems. The humans' presence turned the Empire's might into disorder, revealing gaps and weaknesses invisible to any species that relied solely on strength and certainty. A dreadnought pivoted to confront them, bristling with energy cannons and defense arrays designed to annihilate in moments. The Horizon moved with careful calculation, weaving through arcs of molten energy as if space itself bent to human will. EXO-1, the prototype, stirred for the first time, its blue-white core flaring as it synchronized with the humans' instincts, amplifying and directing their ingenuity. The dreadnought faltered, systems overloading under pulses of energy it could not anticipate. Smaller ships collided or stalled, trapped in a chain reaction humanity had orchestrated without even raising a weapon. The Horizon remained steady, its crew calm, their minds a combination of calculation and instinct, turning chaos into a tool, turning unpredictability into strength. For the first time, doubt rippled through the Empire's fleets. No species had ever faced power with humor, curiosity, and intelligence as weapons. The humans did not attack recklessly. They did not seek annihilation. They observed, adapted, and survived. And in doing so, they shattered the certainty of centuries. The Horizon drifted deeper into imperial space, its small frame dwarfed by fleets that had once seemed invincible. Every sensor pulse, every energy reading, was absorbed, analyzed, and repurposed. The humans were not here to fight blindly, they were here to observe, to adapt, and to survive in ways the Empire could not comprehend. The dreadnought advanced, massive energy cannons bristling, engines thrumming with authority. Missiles arced toward the horizon, tracing trails of fire through the vacuum. The humans shifted, danced, and weaved, shields flaring against stray blasts, but always in control, always in command of their movements. Each maneuver was calculated yet instinctive, a ballet of survival performed against impossible odds. EXO-1 activated fully, its core radiating a brilliant blue-white light. Tendrils of energy rippled across the bridge, interfacing with the Horizon systems, amplifying human strategy, bending energy pulses, redirecting incoming fire, and manipulating the battlefield without a single reckless strike. The Empire's dreadnought reeled under forces it could not predict, systems faltering as human ingenuity turned technology against itself. Drones projected illusions of additional ships, scattering targeting arrays, jamming communications, and forcing smaller vessels into collisions. Missiles misfired, energy pulses fractured, and chaos spread like wildfire. The humans moved through it all with calm precision, orchestrating disorder as if it were a symphony. The captain observed quietly, noting patterns, anticipating responses, guiding EXO-1's output with subtle gestures. Humanity did not need to dominate through brute force, they dominated by thinking differently, by seeing possibilities invisible to the Empire, by turning fear and certainty into opportunity. The dreadnought's hull cracked, energy conduits flaring as containment fields failed. Smaller warships hesitated, unsure whether to continue attack or retreat. The humans' presence had unbalanced fleets that had never before faltered, creating doubt, disorder, and hesitation where there had been only precision and control. In the void between stars, amid drifting wreckage and the silent pulse of energy, the humans understood a simple truth: the galaxy feared predictability, and humans were anything but predictable. With courage, intelligence, and audacity, they carved a place for themselves not through conquest, but through defiance, adaptability, and unwavering resolve. The Horizon hovered at the center of the fractured battlefield, its shields flickering but steadfast. The hull bearing scars of near misses and close calls. The dreadnought, once the apex of imperial power, convulsed under pulses of energy it could not counter, its massive form twisting as systems failed and energy conduits flared. Smaller vessels, leaderless and disoriented, collided or drifted helplessly, caught in the human-orchestrated chaos. Inside, the crew moved with fluid precision. Every console adjustment, every rerouted power flow, every repair was executed with calm focus. They did not panic. They did not rush. Each action reinforced the others, a symphony of instinct, intellect, and experience. EXO-1 hummed at the heart of the ship, its core radiating blue-white energy that interfaced seamlessly with human command. Amplifying their ingenuity and turning defensive measures into offensive disruption, drones swarmed, projecting illusions, jamming sensors, and creating false fleet formations that misled the Empire's remaining forces. Energy beams bent and fractured as they passed through the Horizon's shields, systems misfired, and automated defenses miscalculated, turning overwhelming might into vulnerability. Humanity did not destroy recklessly, they neutralized threats with precision, leaving the Empire scrambling to comprehend the unorthodox tactics that defied centuries of strategic doctrine. The captain observed the battlefield, noting every shift and ripple. He did not shout commands, the crew anticipated and adapted. Guided by collective instinct sharpened over lifetimes of survival and exploration. Each human decision amplified EXO-1's energy, every gesture a quiet defiance against impossible odds, the dreadnought's core destabilized, energy surging uncontrollably, cracks snaking across its hull as automated systems failed. Smaller ships froze, engines offline, communication arrays silent. The Empire's fleet, once a symbol of absolute authority, was reduced to hesitation, confusion, and vulnerability. The Horizon advanced slowly, deliberately, a small vessel at the center of shattered power. Humanity's triumph was not in destruction, but in ingenuity, audacity, and unwavering resolve. The stars beyond reflected their victory. Brilliant and infinite, a canvas for a legend written not with dominance, but with courage, intelligence, and defiance, the Imperial remnants drifted through the void, fragmented and powerless, their formations broken, weapons offline, engines faltering. The Horizon floated at the center, battered but unbowed, its golden shield steady, EXO-1's core pulsing in rhythm with the ship's heartbeat. Every crew member moved with quiet purpose, stabilizing systems, rerouting energy, and repairing breaches. They were exhausted but unbroken, a testament to human resilience. The dreadnought, once a symbol of the Empire's unquestionable might, groaned under the stress of its failing systems. Energy conduits flared and cracked, massive hull plates splitting as the humans' ingenuity amplified chaos into a weapon. Smaller ships, leaderless and confused, collided or drifted helplessly, unable to recover from the anomalies humanity had introduced into the battlefield. Drones danced through the wreckage, projecting false fleets, intercepting misfired weapons, and amplifying the Horizon's presence. Each maneuver was deliberate, precise, and humane, neutralizing threats without unnecessary destruction. The humans' brilliance lay in their ability to turn unpredictability into a force no empire had ever anticipated. The captain stood at the center of the bridge, calm and observant, guiding EXO-1's energy with subtle gestures. Every human decision magnified the chaos in the Empire's ranks, every instinctive maneuver reinforcing their advantage. They had not only survived, they had demonstrated that courage, intellect, and audacity could topple what had once seemed invincible. Outside, the void shimmered with the aftermath of battle. Debris drifted slowly, energy pulses faded, and silence reclaimed the battlefield. The Horizon lifted from the shattered fleet, engines glowing softly, carrying humanity forward. They had met the galaxy's greatest power and emerged unbowed, leaving a legend written in intelligence, defiance, and unyielding spirit. The Horizon drifted through the aftermath of the shattered Imperial fleet, its golden shields flickering faintly against the residual energy pulses lingering in the void. Fragments of dreadnoughts and smaller warships floated like silent monuments to a civilization that had never anticipated failure, each collision frozen in the vacuum of space, each shard reflecting distant starlight in haunting beauty. Humanity had survived where no other species dared challenge the Empire, not by overwhelming firepower, but by ingenuity, audacity, and an instinctive understanding of survival that defied prediction. Inside the bridge, the crew moved with a practiced calm, their hands tracing familiar consoles as they rerouted power, repaired minor damage, and interfaced with EXO-1, the prototype that had become both shield and sword. The vessel itself seemed alive, pulsing in rhythm with the crew, harmonizing thought and machine into a single, adaptive consciousness. Every sensor reading was absorbed, analyzed, and turned into strategy, not for domination, but for persistence, for resilience, for asserting existence against forces that sought to erase them. The remnants of the Imperial fleet drifted, confused and leaderless. Communications crackled and died, energy weapons misfired, engines shuddered and stalled, and automated defenses collided in self-destructive loops. Humanity's presence had introduced variables the Empire could not calculate, actions and reactions rooted in intuition, creativity, and moral clarity that no algorithm or psychic probe could contain. Each moment of hesitation in the enemy ranks became an opening, each misstep a reflection of human defiance. EXO-1 extended its influence, sending out pulses that stabilized the horizon and manipulated the surrounding field of debris and malfunctioning ships. Energy arcs danced across the void, bending in impossible trajectories, creating zones of safety, zones of disruption, and pathways the humans alone could navigate with precision. The prototype's core glowed brighter, and the crew interfaced seamlessly, guiding it not as a weapon, but as an extension of human intelligence and adaptability. The captain observed the battlefield through the viewport. A vast canvas of chaos and starlight, the scale of which was impossible to measure with conventional understanding. They had faced fleets that dwarfed entire planets, ships capable of leveling cities with a single volley, and yet here they were, small humans in a fragile vessel, steering the outcome through wit, courage, and a defiance that refused to be quantified. Every crew member played their part, instinct and calculation intertwined. Engineers hummed quietly as they rerouted damaged power conduits, pilots nudged the horizon with micro-adjustments, and analysts traced energy flows and enemy trajectories. Each motion was subtle, almost invisible, yet collectively they orchestrated the downfall of ships designed to crush entire civilizations. The human's presence had become a vector of uncertainty, a spark in the machinery of the Empire that spread chaos without violence, using intellect, adaptability, and moral clarity as their arsenal. Outside, the void seemed to bend around them. Distant stars shimmered against the drifting wreckage, reflecting glimmers of energy arcs and explosions now faded to quiet embers. Debris floated in slow motion, as if time itself had slowed to witness the improbable defiance of humanity. And within this silent ballet of destruction and survival, the horizon glided with purpose, a symbol of a species that refused to bow, refused to yield, and refused to be understood, for the first time. Across countless light years and among fleets that had never faltered, a whisper of doubt spread. Not just among commanders, but through the very psyche of the Empire. Humans were small, seemingly fragile, yet unstoppable in ways that no calculation could predict. Their laughter at danger, their curiosity in the face of annihilation, and their steadfast ingenuity had rewritten the rules of engagement. The galaxy had learned something immutable: survival, intelligence, and courage could be more powerful than fleets, weapons, or centuries of dominion. As the horizon moved further into uncharted space, leaving behind the remnants of what had once seemed absolute power, the crew allowed themselves a moment of quiet reflection. They had faced extinction incarnate, and through thought, instinct, and unity, had emerged unbroken. Humanity had not merely survived, it had asserted its place in the cosmos, a reminder that the heart of a human could bend fate itself, and somewhere, amid the infinite stars, the galaxy began to whisper a new truth: humans were not to be underestimated.